Welcome back to week 9, and in this lesson we are going to get into 3D wireframing in AutoCAD. And this is a very simple procedure. Whenever you start drawing this up, you're in your CAD 100. In the early part of this class, you've done everything in two-dimensional space, and we're going to start escalating into solid modeling in AutoCAD. But we're going to start out with one of the first methods of 3D modeling in software, and that's wireframing. And it's really neat. It's just sometimes it'll play tricks with your eyes, and you'll see that as you draw. But let's go in there and I'll show you some more about it. So I'm in AutoCAD. I want to start my template up. So I just go File, New, and when I do that, I'm going to go grab myself my mechanical template if I can find one. Desktop templates. I've got a mechanical template already set up. It's got all my layers and everything ready. So what I have to do here though first is I got to switch this thing out of 2D annotation, and I got to switch it to 3D. So right here there's a little gear at the bottom, and if you go down here you can switch to 3D modeling. Okay, and it completely reconfigures everything on here for you, just like that. So you'll see up here you got a home, solid, surface, mesh, visualize. You got all these tools up here that you can use. And one thing that I always recommend is hit your little drop down and hit show menu bar. It brings all this up here. When I'm working in three-dimensional AutoCAD, there's a couple tools I always like to use. I go to Tools, slide down to Toolbars, and go to AutoCAD. I always like to have my object snap right there. It's always a good one to have. I always like to also go to Toolbars, and I like to slide down, and I like to have my UCS right here, User Coordinate System. Even though it's right here, I always, for some reason, I will always like to have that extra little bar there. Toolbars. I like to use my view. It's nice, and again, you can get to that on here, but I like to have my view tab up. I'm just so used to having those. And then one more, Tools, Toolbar, AutoCAD. I like to use what's called an orbit. And right here it is. It's a really helpful tool to have, and just to be able to rotate and things of that sort. So we've got all this set up. Now our drawing we're going to draw is right here. I'll click on it and click Save Image. I'll save it somewhere where I can find it. Save. I'll open it up, and I'll have that like that, so I can sling it over here, and I can zoom it in, and I can pull my AutoCAD in here as well. Minimize it so I can take and draw it. I can throw it over there, and it should fit, and I'll take and just kind of pull this one back, and I'll pull this one back as well. Get my AutoCAD back going again. There we go. And we are ready to draw. Now, on this one, we've got everything set up, and looking for my toolbars. Where'd they go? They're hid over here. So I want to put them up here at the top, undock them, and then I'll dock them up here so it's easy to find them. It's just a quick reference. When I start to draw this, I want to draw, when I do a 3D wireframe, I like to draw it in an isometric view. And you can see right now you're in your XY plane. And right here at the top, that's your XY plane you're looking at. There's the bottom, left, right. So you can turn these things, and it'll follow your XY according to the view. Let's not worry about that too much. I'm going to take and I want to put this in a southeast isometric. Okay? All right, so let's go southwest. That looks a little better. So my X is going this way, my Y is going this way. Well, I don't like that neither. Let's go back to top. That looks better. I had to go back to the top view to get it oriented back. Y is, going north, X is going east, and then I use my southeast, and then that puts my Y going this way, my X going this way. So when I start drawing here, we're not going to do the solid modeling yet, but I'm just going to draw in regular lines. Actually, I want to draw in a rectangle. So I just do 0, 0, and you can see there's an X and my Y. And over here, this looks like to me is 4.5. And looks like that's a half, that'd be 2, so that would be 3. So my X would be 4.5, comma, and looks like that would be 3. So there's my rectangle. As you can see, that's for the base, and I'll come in here and I'll get the rest of this right here finished in just a little bit. We can go ahead and do it now. And you can and remember, you're only drawing in your XY plane, and this will make more sense as we go on. But I want to click this one, I want to explode it. Okay? So modify, here's my explode, that were they're individual pieces, and I'll do an offset of 1/2 inch. Now you guys draw it however it's easier for you. So I got that in there, and then this is back 1.5, so offset 1.5 back. And now I can do a trim, right click. So I've got that cleaned up. Now, what I want to do is I want to grab every bit of this, and I want to do a copy. This is my 0 point, and I want to bring it straight up. So what I do is hit at, 0 for X, 0 for Y, but now I have a Z axis I want to move. I want to move it at 0.75. So I do that, 0.75. Okay, and I want to hit this orbit right here, and I want to orbit this thing around a little bit and check out what's going on. And just use your regular left mouse button, and it looked like everything's going good. So when I hit my southeast again, takes me back there to that point. So all that looks fantastic right now. All I have to do now is just hit my line and connect the points. Make sure you snap to those points. I'm hitting my space bar to repeat the command. Now, like I said, this is an older technology, but it's good to be able to visualize this stuff. So there's that. Go back here, and we'll put these in for right now. Now I want to offset over 0.75. So I do another offset of 0.75, and I'll catch this one. I'll bring it over. So this one's on the bottom, okay? So if I hit my orbit and go in there, you see it's on the bottom. And what I want to do with it is I want to bring it up, copy it, and I'll hit that point, and I'll hit at, because I don't want 0 and X, and look at your X, Y, and Z there, 0 and X, 0 and Y, but I want to go at 0.75, enter. And you see how it puts it right up above that? And I don't need this bottom one anymore, okay? So now I want to go to offset that line there, offset these two lines, copy, and I want to bring those straight up. So I hit at, 0 and X, 0 and Y, and my Z is going to be 2.5, and I got a minus at 0.75 right there. So that would make it 1.75. Okay, and I hit enter. And now all I want to do is I want to grab that grip, bring it up there, hit my line, catch that one, and bring it down to there. Make sure you're snapping to those things, because if you don't snap, I'll show you what happens. Well, it snapped to something there. But if I do something like that and hit 3D, see what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you're snapping to those points. And every now and then, do yourself a spin around just to make sure everything's looking okay. So this one here, I grab it and pull it back. That one there, yes, I need that. I don't need that one in the back anymore because it's gone. That'll be a solid back. This one will go all the way up to there. And then I'm going to bring this line straight down to there. And this one, just grab it and pull it over. So at this point, you're getting yourself a 3D wireframe. And this is the old methods of doing this. So now, with that done, we have got to put in this little chamfer, and you got a hole to put in there too. We'll get that one in just a bit. But let's go ahead and get the chamfer. Now, there's different ways that you can do this. You could just come up here, offset, or copy up a line, and then copy it over so far. You could do either one of those. Or I could get in here and catch this one and then do a copy down and make a line. Just make points where I could just do my cross section of it. But what I want to do is I want to show you another little trick. And it's called 3-point. Okay? Right now, this is our world coordinate. You all see this up here. There's a little world. And I can change and move my X, Y, and Z, because you always draw an X and Y. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to draw this on this face of this plane right here. If I hit 3-point, which is one of my favorites, 3-point, and I clicked 1, 2, that sets my X, this sets my Y. Y. Do y'all see now how this is X, this is Y, and back through this way is Z? Now I can draw on this XY. Do you see what I mean? I'm drawing on this plane, and I can hit my 3D, and you can see that. Okay? Now, if I hit my world coordinate, it puts it back to X and Y and Z down here. Now watch when I draw. If I'm drawing, boy, it looks just like I'm drawing right on the face of that until I turn, and you'll notice I'm on this XY plane. It always draws on XY. So make sure that you continuously turn and look and see what you're doing. But again, I want to be on this plane so I can draw. So you come to 3-point, click here, click here, click here. There's your XY. Up, 3-point. You got to click it 3 times. That's why it's called 3-point. That makes your X the first 2 points, and then Y is your next one. And it sets my XY up. So what I want to do is just hit line or offset. I can do an offset. 2 inches over. So offset of 2 inches. I want this one to come over. And it's probably not wanting to do that, is it? Well, I could always just right there and come over 2. Enter, just like that. I made myself a line, and then here it's 1 inch from the top. I can go here and come down 1, just get it going in that line. 1, enter, and then come up here and connect the dots, and then come back, hit perpendicular, and then grab that endpoint, come over here and hit perpendicular. You want to be perpendicular. You can also control right click, hit perpendicular, or up here at your snaps, or have it turned on in your object snap. Come over and click it, back up, get rid of this, and let's trim the rest of it out. That one trimmed out. And you can actually grab your grip too and pull it down. And right there you'd have that little object besides the circle. Now, let's say for instance, I want to be on this plane up here at the top. Again, hit your 3-point. And I can go from there to there's my X, and back here's my Y. Okay. And put my circle. I can come in here and figure out where my circle goes to, and it looks like 1.5 over, offset 1.5, enter there to there, and it looks like it's 2.67 from the bottom. So I offset 2.67. Hit offset again, 2.67. I'll grab this line and come straight up. I want to extend it over, extend to that line. And where they cross, that will be my center point for a 0.75 diameter. Center diameter, 0.75. I'll get rid of my center line. And then what I do, because I need to put it on the bottom too, do a copy, click on it, right click, get your center point. And again, use that at to make it relative, 0, 0, negative, because we're going in the Z direction, in the negative direction, negative 0.75, because that's the thickness of that part. And it puts it down there, and to show that it has depth, we'll catch these quadrants here, and we'll catch the quadrants on the bottom, just to show that is indeed a cylinder. Okay, and you can add more if you need it to. I click on there, turn it around, and as you can see, right there is a 3D wireframe. And of course, here's your coordinates, and whenever you move these, it's called a UCS, a user coordinate system. But if you want to go back to your original world coordinate, back to its original spot, hit your little world button right here, and it puts it right back in its home position. It's always good to do that before you save something and end it. So what I want you guys to do is, once you get that one put together like that, use your snipping tool. Type in snipping. Snipping tool comes up, and hit new, and get this in a nice little, let me close out, let me get out this command there, but I want you to put it right there, type in snipping, and I just want you to take an image of this for me. New, and just grab yourself an image, file, save as, and you can call this week 9 tutorial. And that's the way you can submit that to me, okay? And then, of course, you can submit this tutorial like this. You can just do a 3D snipping of it, okay? If you have any questions on any of this, just please let me know.